Well, storms are moving through the 4 states, and our own meteorologist Nick Kelly has been busy keeping track of them. He joins us now with the latest.
Well, I was tracking one round of thunderstorms that worked through this morning, Tanya, and unfortunately round number 2 is already underway. We can see how the morning has progressed. Like areas to the north and west of Pittsburgh, the rain and thunderstorms you saw already might have tempered your severe threat a little bit, but we can see within the latest few seconds here we had a new tornado watch just go out. I want to quickly query that before I give you a breakdown of how the radar looks right now. If I can find my query tool, this tornado watch will be out until 11 o'clock tonight, so they're going with an 11-hour watch with this, and it's for plenty of good reason too. On the warm side of the system and right along the warm front, we are beginning to see thunderstorms fire up. I was keeping an eye on a storm in Osage County that had a tornado warning originally clipping northwestern Washington County, but that rotation has weakened for now. But have a look. Not only do we have more storms firing up around Independence, around Coffeyville, southwest of Columbus. We're beginning to see more storms firing up northwest of Miami, around the Wada, around Pryor Creek. These storms are firing up fast, and they are starting to rotate. So we will have to keep an eye on all these storms as we go through not only this afternoon, but this evening. We'll see how that threat will pan out tonight, plus the rest of your forecast coming up in just a bit, Tanya.
All right, sounds like we've got a lot to talk about and a lot to keep our eye on today.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Nick. President.
Now, just a quick update for everybody. We had a brand new tornado warning that just popped up for eastern Newada and western Craig counties. Let's go ahead and quickly take max storm full if we could. This tornado warning is in effect until 12:45, and we have seen rotation pick up quite a bit rapidly now, right around Watauga. Right now, if I had to peg where that rotation is, just east of 169 and south of 160. So northeast of Watauga and southeast of Newada. This storm is moving northeast at about 45 miles per hour. That'll get it to near Childers within the next 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll continue to keep an eye on this storm and all these other storms. And I'll have a full update on this later on in the show. In the meantime, a commercial break is upon us, so we'll be right back.
South of Pittsburgh.
Well, we thought we'd get a little bit of a break after our morning round of rain and storms, but already our second round is just beginning with these thunderstorms developing south of Chanute, south and west of Pittsburgh, especially out in parts of Oklahoma. I'm going to stop the looping radar if we can here, and we are going to see how things look right now. We have these latest severe thunderstorm, not severe thunderstorm, but tornado warnings that we're keeping a very close eye on as we go into, let's see, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in on here. The thunderstorms have definitely been picking up around Independence, Neodesha, Fredonia, including a cell right on top of Columbus. Those aren't severe for the time being, but I'm really keeping a close eye, first and foremost, on this cell in Newada County. Doesn't look really impressive right now, but this storm has developed really fast. It's in an environment where it's unstable enough. It's got a lot of energy to work with, and on top of that, as it's approaching the warm front, it is encouraging this storm to rotate. Nothing on the ground yet, but we have noticed a tightening rotation with that. So for the time being, nothing on the ground for areas east of Newada in eastern Newada County and western parts of Craig County, but nonetheless, if you're in that polygon, be in your safe place right now. Why are we seeing this round of thunderstorms? Well, it's because of our vigorous upper low that's really digging in the upper levels of the atmosphere out of the desert southwest, and that is working together with this, our storm system that actually the warm front pushed back a little bit to the south, but I wouldn't be surprised if this snuck back to the north. In general, though, it doesn't matter where we are in the grand scheme of things, we're going to have to deal with another round of strong to severe storms as we proceed throughout the rest of the day. Looking quiet from 7th and Rangeline at least, but certainly ominous looking skies. 65 in Joplin with an east breeze at about 10 miles per hour. We have 61 in Iola, but look at Grove, 77 degrees right now, 73 in Miami, so it's easy to tell where that warm front is. So if you're along and south of the front, you'll go into the lower to middle 70s this afternoon while we continue to keep an eye on these storms. You can definitely see the south wind picking up at 17 miles per hour in Tulsa, 18 in Joplin, and a little bit lighter around Chanute. So where do we go from here? We're going to keep an eye on these thunderstorms that have been rapidly developing, and they'll continue to do so over the next few hours, and I think until about 6 o'clock. So between now and 6 o'clock, I think that's when our tornado threat is the highest, as long as we continue to see these individual supercells pop up. But by 4 o'clock, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a more solid line of thunderstorms, not only working through the I-44 corridor, but developing off to our west and pushing on through. That's going to be a major wind threat for us, not to mention bringing in some large hail, too. Hopefully this round of the future track pans out, but eventually we will see our severe threat start to wind down once we get past 10, 11 o'clock tonight, and certainly by 1 or 2 o'clock early tomorrow morning. Thankfully, this round of the future track has us quiet. It's much calmer to start Wednesday morning out. But then we'll see if Mother Nature can recharge and give us some more scattered thunderstorms with maybe a severe threat for Wednesday. But we're going to take these days one at a time. We're going to focus on our elevated threat for a good portion of the area along and south of Interstate 44. But from now until about 1 a.m. going into Wednesday, we're going to keep an eye on the tornado threat up until about 6 or 7 o'clock, but we're going to also have to keep an eye on the large hail threat, the high wind threat, and the heavy rain too, because we can certainly see some flooding as these storms continue to develop right on top of us and even continue through Thursday. I think we go into the lower to middle 70s for this afternoon for many of you. Let's go 80 on Wednesday, 73 Thursday, and then we'll try and calm things down as we head toward the weekend, Tanya.
So it sounds like we're not going to get too much of a break today, for sure.
No, not today, but thankfully, Doug and I will be here to keep an eye on things. And don't forget about our weather app, too. It's free to download at the Apple Play Store, or the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. It's free. You'll get free severe weather alerts when you fall under a warning. It'll be a great tool to have on a day like today.
All right, we definitely appreciate all that you're doing. All right, thanks, Nick. We take this time to...
Okay, we're going to continue to keep an eye on our severe weather setup for the rest of the afternoon and into tonight, considering we have that tornado watch for much of the area until 11 o'clock tonight. A quick double check of the radar before we see what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 5. I'm watching a strong cell between Pittsburgh and Columbus. That's not severe. That's continued to weaken as it lifts to the north, but I am keeping a very close eye on this cell with a tornado warning in parts of eastern Craig and make that eastern Nevada and western Craig counties, including another storm near Spavina. We're going to continue with our severe threat as we proceed throughout the night. Dow, what's coming up tonight at 5?
At 5, the creators of a petition in Fort Scott speak out after the city says they're disregarding their petition, plus traveling technology. We're going to show you how patients can now get dialysis in the comfort of their own home. And although not near as often, men can get breast cancer too. We're going to tell you about one man who's trying to raise awareness of that. Hope you'll join us. KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Please stay safe out there, and we'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
Good afternoon. I'm certified meteorologist Nick Kelly. Just wanted to bring everybody up to speed on the KOAM side. And for those of you just joining us now on Fox 14, I apologize for interrupting Andy Griffith and the Bold and the Beautiful, but wanted to bring this to your attention. Most of us now under a tornado watch until 11 o'clock tonight, and I have been keeping an eye on a tornado warning in extreme northwestern parts of Craig County. We're going to go ahead and zoom into this because this has been a fairly quickly developing storm. It was about nothing compared to about 30 or 40 minutes ago, and it has evolved quite quickly as we went throughout the course of the past 30 to 40 minutes. Latest look at things still has some rotation far to the northwest of the Turnpike, north and west of Bonita, and the Weather Service out of Wichita is keeping a close eye in southern parts of Lebec County, so let's just have to wait and see if they'll post a tornado warning for parts of Lebec County, but this is an early heads up for Oswego, area south of Altamont and Labette, and certainly to the south of Parsons. I did want to bring to your attention, though, other storms before I send you back over to programming. We do have a strong storm near Oswego. That's not severe. A storm near Columbus. That's not severe, but it's quite strong, including a very potent storm right on top of Pittsburgh. That's just a heavy storm with maybe some small hail, but we are going to continue to see these storms develop right on top of us, with the main threats being large hail, high wind, and we cannot rule out tornadoes until we at least get into this early evening. So Doug, Hattie, and I, we're on duty. We're ready to go. We'll keep a close eye on things as we proceed throughout the course of the afternoon and into tonight. So we'll keep it tuned right here to KOAM and Fox 14. We'll keep you advised. Back to programming.
What is going on severe weather-wise? We have tornado watches in effect across the region, plus numerous tornado warnings as well across northeastern Oklahoma, now Newton County, southern parts of Jasper County. And this, even though we've had some rounds of thunderstorms that have rolled through, the atmosphere is extremely unstable, and we're just reloading as one round rolls in, then we reload once again back into northeastern Oklahoma. So let's zoom in to this first cell. This is right across Newton County. You can see other ones. These are supercells. These are the ones that like to produce tornadoes. And we've been watching rotation on this guy really for about 45 minutes all the way back through Delaware County. It's had mid-level rotation. Finally, now it's dropped to low-level rotation. We have a very defined wall cloud and a funnel cloud on it. No reports on the ground, correct, Nick?
No, it was just a funnel, but it was passing just 5 north of Neosho on 49 about 5 to 10 minutes ago.
All right, and Kale, just so you know, Nick is on mic B, but you can see this very tight circulation just south of Tipton Ford, just to the north of Neosho, so it's just east of I-49, but really wrapping up. So if you live northern parts of Newton County, I'd say over toward Granby and eventually Sarcoxie, as this moves northeast at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. You need to take shelter immediately, as it can drop a tornado at any time. It's right at that stage of wanting to drop a tornado. Plus, on the north side of this cell where you see the brighter red, this is where we are picking up the very large hail, upwards of half-dollar size hail and winds at about 65 miles per hour. I want to track a little bit farther north. We do have storms I-49 Lamar to Nevada. Once you get really to Lamar, our severe threat greatly drops. We could see some severe thunderstorms, but I think our main tornado threat is really from Springfield, Joplin to Bartlesville south. So really I-44 and south. Also, we have these guys which have really reloaded and blown up near Tulsa, and these are going to work right in over the next several hours. So a lot to watch as we work through really about the next 7 or 8 hours, and then eventually these will go to line. Anything new on this rotation?
No, I'm just getting word that sirens are going from Sarcoxie and Avella as they should be. Still nothing confirmed, but everybody in that red polygon needs to be in a safe place now.
Okay, so we still have the wall cloud, a funnel cloud on this storm. This is just to the north of Neosho. What about the spotters? I have, you can look at my Facebook page there.
Spotters, not seeing anything new from the spotters as of now.
Okay, so we do know just a funnel cloud, but again, you can see it really wrapping up. We switch this to velocity and zoom in just a little bit. We'll see where we can pinpoint the exact location of the rotation. It looks like it's tightened up just a little bit, but you can see the brighter returns here in the red just north of Neosho, and then how they bank up against the green here. So you have the winds which are really circulating around each other. What about CC? Anything with that?
Let me do a quick double check. Not really seeing anything that's screaming out there.
Usually we'll get a little spot here if we know it's on the ground. It'll actually pick up debris. So we aren't getting that. So that's the good news. But you need to take shelter just north of Neosho, Granby, Sarcoxie, as this tornado warning continues to tighten up a bit. Hopefully it just stays a wall cloud and a funnel cloud and it doesn't drop anything on the ground. Make sure you keep it here. We're going to be on top of this storm as we work through, as long as it lasts. But for now, back to programming.
Hello.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
All right, guys, good afternoon. I want to continue to update you on our tornado warning we have across Newton County, southern parts of Jasper County. We've had numerous supercells which have been rolling through during the afternoon. Now, tornadoes love supercells because all the energy, it kind of gets drawn into this one storm instead of a line of storms. We will get a line of storms, but that's not going to be until late this evening into the overnight hours. So until then, we have to deal with these individual supercells. We've kind of had one batch roll through. We're reloading back in northeastern Oklahoma, so it's going to be very active, and especially from Springfield, Mount Vernon, Joplin, we'll even say Columbus, over toward Coffeyville and south. That's where the greatest instability is, that we could see these supercells producing some tornado warnings. Latest indication on this cell's rotation is weakened just a hair, but we are still getting that very tight low-level rotation. You can see this little notch right in here. So we are now just to the northeast of Neosho as this is continuing to work pretty quickly off toward the north and to the east, and will continue to do so as we work through the next, let's say 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll see if this thing will weaken just a little bit. Zoom in a little tighter for you, and you can see where that little notch is. So here's Diamond. So it's just to the east of Diamond, and it's continuing to track north and east. You want to throw up velocity on this, and we'll see what's being picked up. Nick is running the radar as well, and also looking at all the latest data. You can see the latest scan.
Not what I had in mind, but there you go.
Yeah, that works. So you can see really where the red and the green is meeting from Diamond, just to the east of Diamond. So that's where we have been seeing this rotation tightening up. Again, nothing on the ground at this point in time, but we'll continue to watch it. Oh, clear that off, put me back on pan. And then this is right along the Newton and Jasper County line, and it's continuing to push off toward the northeast. Where you see the brighter reds here, Diamond, Fidelity, and then stretching back toward Tipton Ford, that's where we are seeing the heaviest rain and also pretty nice size hail, quarter size to half dollar size hail. If you live in Sarcoxy, go ahead and take shelter. This is going to be moving in right on your back doorstep here in about 4 or 5 minutes. What do you got, Nick?
Just wanted to keep an update, too. We're not watching just this storm out in Jasper and Newton counties. Let's just disable Magic Track just for a second here, Doug. Tulsa is keeping a close eye on the storms west of Nevada. Some of these are trying to organize and rotate. Not going with the tornado warning on it yet, but those are, again, just more storms we need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, as I was just saying about 5 minutes ago, they are reloading in northeastern Oklahoma. So that's what Nick is talking about. And you can see all the individual supercells and the numerous tornado warnings. So these are going to be affecting Bonita up toward Miami, Grand Lake here in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Plus, same time, we got these guys in northwestern parts of Arkansas. They're going to lift into southern parts of Missouri. Now, tornado threat, again, is mainly I-44 and south. Doesn't mean north of I-44 you can't have a tornado warning. Just means the more unstable atmosphere is south of Interstate 44. It's a little bit more stable once you get back here through southeastern Kansas, but this area is really going to light up with a line of storms late this evening. As of right now, at least warnings in our immediate area, just northern Newton, southern parts of Jasper County, just a wall cloud, a funnel cloud at this time. If it advances any farther, of course, we're going to let you know. But if you do live in Sarcoxy, as this rotation moves over you here in about the next 5 to 6 minutes, you need to take shelter. I'll keep you updated. For now, back to programming.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
Hey, good afternoon. Meteorologist Doug Heddy. I want to update you on our severe weather, which has been rolling through. Of course, most of us under a tornado watch until 11 p.m. We've had numerous severe thunderstorm warnings and already several tornado warnings throughout the afternoon. You can see the red boxes. So we are looking Nowata County, just east of Tulsa, and then we still have our tornado warning in parts of Newton and also southeastern parts of Jasper County. Look at all the thunderstorms. These are individual supercells which are rolling through. They really pack the energy into these storms, and the atmosphere is unstable enough that we are getting a lot of rotation within these storms. The one that we have been really watching over the past 20 to 30 minutes has tracked out across southern parts of Ottawa County into Newton, also southern parts of Jasper County. You can see the red box here, or trapezoid, whatever shape it is, that is showing us our tornado warning. And we've had 2 areas of rotation on this. One just to the west of Sarcoxy, and then a couple little guys, see these little notches, which are kind of trying to regenerate a little bit of the energy with rotation. You can see where the green and the red meet here. So we're looking at Diamond. So we're about 4 or 5 miles to the northeast of Diamond. That's where we still have the rotation. We've had wall clouds and even some funnel clouds with it. May have had a brief little touchdown as it was a little bit farther toward the west, maybe 30 seconds, but most of this has been just a wall cloud and also a funnel cloud, but can drop a tornado at any time. That means you need to take shelter if you live, especially in Sarcoxy, as this storm is continuing to work in. At the same time, we have storms reloading back toward the north, or back to our south and to our west. Look at all these supercells which are blowing up northeastern parts of Oklahoma. This is all going to push back into this very unstable air mass. So we are going to continue to get severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings over the next several hours. So make sure you pay attention. That's the most important thing when we have days like this. Keep it here. I'll keep you updated. For now, back to broadcast.
It was happening. Why?
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
Good afternoon, meteorologist Doug Heddy. I want to update you on severe weather, which has been rolling through really all afternoon long. We have tornado watches in effect in the purple and the yellow. These are severe thunderstorm warnings in the red. These are tornado warnings, numerous tornado warnings, northeastern Oklahoma now back. Again, southwestern parts of Missouri, McDonald County, southern parts of Newton County. We continue to get these supercells, which are rolling off toward the north and to the east, 25 upwards to about 30 miles per hour. But the main instability, where it's really unstable, is along and south of Interstate 44. We had a tornado warning on this guy now in eastern parts of Jasper County. The rotation is weakened enough, so it's not warranted anymore, but still, we have a severe thunderstorm warning on that cell. This guy's really wrapped up. We have very large hail. Look how it hooks around here, so we're just to the west of Pineville, so we're getting a very tight rotation. Radar indicated tornado warning, so you need to take shelter. This is right about on top of Knoll. It's moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. It looks like the main rotation will stay just north of Pineville, but could go right over Anderson, so you need to take shelter right away. Plus, we're getting very large hail within this. See how we have the red and then the green. They're really bumping up to each other. So right in here where the colors are the brightest, that's where we are picking up that very strong rotation. Also, here's our hail, and this is our hail zone. This shows you where it is going. When you get the yellows and even a little bit of orange, we're talking golf ball size hail, at least golf ball size hail with this storm moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and back up. You can see where that rotation is now, right on the west side of Pineville, northwest side of Pineville. Pineville and Anderson, you need to take shelter right away. I'm going to back up here. You can see that very tight rotation where you get this little hook. The winds are flowing around and then flowing right into the storm. What do we have on it, Nick?
No, well, nothing new on the tornado warning for McDonald County, Doug, but a new warning went out, tornado warning for southern Labette for the storms trying to sneak in from northeast Oklahoma.
Okay, so yeah, we'll look at this here. Actually, I'll track over there. We can take a look at that. It's going to take me a second to get over there. All right, there's the new tornado warning, southern parts of Labette. So we're looking at Chetopa and then back toward Edna. And this is for the rotation down in this part of the storm, so it hasn't actually made it into Labette County yet, but will here in about the next 10 to 15 minutes.
But they are saying radar confirmed tornado on this.
On this one?
Yes. 6 miles east of South Coffeyville or 8 miles southeast of Coffeyville, moving northeast at 35.
You want to take off Magic Track and pull up velocity on that?
Yeah. And if we're getting a damaging tornado being radar confirmed, we'll also get a chance to pop up the correlation coefficient to look at tornado debris.
You may have to go to the Tulsa. Yeah, you can see it right there.
Yeah, it automatically went right to Tulsa. We see.
So you got where the green and the red are bumping up against each other. So we have a confirmed tornado on the ground here.
Yeah, and I guarantee you if I click over to the CEC, there it is.
Yep, there it is. There's a debris ball right there. So this is showing us that it's on the ground. And when you get this bright color here, that means it's picking up and throwing stuff in the air. So this is a very tight little debris signature. This is tracking northeast, so this is going to move into southern parts of Labette County very quickly. So this is on the ground, moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So if you live in southern parts of Labette County, you need to take shelter immediately as that cell continues to work off toward the north and to the east.
Oh, let me get you, all right, you're golden, Doug.
Okay, good to go. All right, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here, and we'll also go back toward.
And last check, I still think we have a few other tornadoes possibly on the ground, one south and east of Tulsa near Wagoner, and that one that tried to skirt near Talala north of Claremore. So it's getting really active in northeast Oklahoma.
Yeah, so we got just south of Coffeyville, we have a tornado on the ground. Just south of Nowata, we have tornado, at least a warning. We can go back toward the east. Still haven't got this guy. Looks to be just north of Pineville right now. Let's go ahead and zoom in on him. We'll get a little better look at what is going on with him, as you can still see a very tight signature. So here's I-49, so here's Anderson. Anderson, you are in the rain core, the hail core, as it continues to push north into the east. But then we have this signature right in here, and that's where our rotation is. So just south of the rain, that's where we have at least a wall cloud. Anything new on this one in McDonald County?
No, nothing new, but we have spotters on it, and they will definitely chime in if they see anything.
Yeah, so at least a wall cloud or a funnel cloud. The rotation is just extremely strong, so that is definitely something we want to watch. Let me pull up velocity, and then we're going to go back to Labette County here. Let's see. You can still see that kind of tight little notch right in there. So
do you need to widen that scope out a little bit, Doug?
No, I think we're fine. Okay, we're going to go back out here. I want to go back to Lebec County. You got anything new on Lebec County? Or at least that storm moving into
That
Lebec
strongest
County?
area of rotation was to pass between Coffeyville and Edna. I mean, at last check, we still had a confirmed tornado on the ground with that. So everybody from about Mountain Valley, let's say Chatopa, if it makes it that far east, Edna, east of Coffeyville, nobody should be driving along 166 right now. Everybody in Lebec County, again, it's a confirmed tornado on the ground with this, so you need to be in your safe place right now.
Yeah, so we have, obviously, as Nick just said, a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is approaching the county line of Kansas and also Oklahoma with a confirmed tornado. You want to go back to the CC and see if we still see some debris?
We'll chime in. We'll first do a double check of velocity, see where it is. What?
Sorry about that.
That magic check. No, you're fine.
There you go.
Velocity looks a little disorganized, but we'll double check the CC.
Yep. Still got it.
It's still there. I mean, like if the tornado's weakening, that could be just the debris kind of just expanding out and just being settled down from the weakening tornado. But regardless, if I'm in Lebec County, I'm still in my safe place, or still heading there.
So right in here, so just south of the Labette and Nowata County line, that's where we were seeing, throw me back in magic track here. That's where we are seeing the confirmed tornado on the ground. So if you live in southern parts of Lebec County, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can get your bearings straight. So if we look, so Parsons is up here, and Coffeyville, and then heading down toward Bartlesville. So it's right here, right on the county line of, well, actually the state line of Kansas and Oklahoma. Take shelter immediately if you live anywhere in southern parts of Labette. If you live in Coffeyville, this will mainly stay just to your east as it continues to track north and east at a pretty good, really a pretty good pace at about 30 to 35. Anything new on McDonald County?
Not seeing anything new. Actually, let me just double check here. Still not seeing anything new.
Okay, so we still most likely have the wall cloud and a funnel. Still a pretty tight rotation, but we still have the tornado warning. It is now just to the east of Interstate 49, just due north of Pineville. Probably right on the southeast side of Anderson, continuing to push north and east at 30 to 35. So still, if you live in McDonald County, you need to take shelter. I'm going to back up here just a bit, and then we're going to work a little bit farther toward the west. You can see all these supercells which are rolling in. So we got this guy, this guy, this guy. They're all working into the entire four-state area, plus these guys in southwestern parts of Missouri. Anything new?
With that storm that had a confirmed tornado near Talala, I'm seeing that rotation weaken. I don't think it's on the ground anymore. Still tornado warning on that one, so we'll keep a close eye on that. And last I checked, I think there was still a tornado on the ground near Wagoner, but that's really south and east of Tulsa. But again, it's all storms, Doug. As you said, they want to try and head our way as they continue along.
Yeah, so you can see just to the north of Nowata, this storm stretches all the way into southern parts of Labette. And we've had a tornado on the ground very close to the state line of Kansas and Oklahoma, continuing to push in the southern parts of Lebec County. When we showed you that little debris signature, that means it is doing damage as it pushes north and east, and I assume we still are picking up at least somewhat on that. This signature is a little bit, looks a little bit weaker, so it may not be a long-lasting tornado, but definitely need to take shelter. You can still see the rotation here on our storm winds. It's weakened a little bit, but we still have this guy. When you see this guy, this is still showing us some debris. It could be flying around kind of near the ground as we have a funnel cloud, but still we're getting this debris signature. So it definitely hit the ground. It's moving into southern parts of Labette. This is really just 5 miles southeast of Coffeyville, pushing into southwestern parts of Lebec County. Go ahead and take shelter as this continues to push into southeastern parts of Kansas. The storm itself, at least, looks like the updraft strength has weakened a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if that tornado lifts, but as of right now, it's still on the ground. Anything with storm chasers heading around, storm spotters?
New. So far, all the action in terms of spotters confirming anything is out in northeastern Oklahoma. Still not getting much out of that tornado warning out in McDonald County.
Okay.
But as you said, Doug, like even if there isn't a tornado on the ground, the rotation with all these storms today is going to at least contribute to hail, which we need to keep in mind too. There could be at least golf balls with the storms in McDonald County.
So the two big storms we're really watching right now is moving into southern Labette and then also McDonald County. And McDonald County is now just to the north. Pineville is moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. With it, we've just had kind of a wall cloud and a funnel cloud, but can drop a tornado at any time. Then we've been watching this guy, which is moving into southern parts of Lebec County, and it has had a tornado on the ground. It has been doing damage as it has worked just to the north of Nowata. Let's see, you want to throw, oh, we got it.
You're good.
Okay, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and get a little wider view of what is going on.
If it helps, I'll get you a reset of the wide.
Yeah, that helps me. Okay, so you can see our tornado warning, McDonald County, tornado warning, southern parts of Labette, stretching into northern parts of Craig County, and then we continue to have these numerous supercells that continue to pop up in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. So we have a lot moving in. You really need to pay attention as we work through the next couple hours. The atmosphere is very unstable, and as we have seen, these are dropping, or at least rotating storms very easily. Two main storms, southern Labette, also McDonald County. Is there anything new on these with spotters? We have a lot of storm chasers out today. We have numerous chasers which are on the storms in McDonald County, and then I assume we got a lot gathering very closely in southern parts of Labette.
But in terms of McDonald County, Doug, still not seeing much from chasers, but you did get an update on the warning from Springfield. Rotation located over Pineville, if not just north of there, continuing northeast at 35. If we don't get a tornado out of that, the rotation in that storm is still capable of dumping golf ball-sized hail and everybody in that red polygon.
So you can still see that rotation. Here's Pineville, and then here's I-49. So you can see Goodman, Anderson's about right in there. So it's just past Anderson. Still getting, looks like the rotation is broadened a little bit because we have a couple areas that you can see the red and the green kind of butting up against each other with the winds. Let's look at the hail, very large hail. When you see oranges popping up here, this is showing us at least golf ball, probably tennis ball size hail within this storm just to the north of Pineville. And you can see our zone of where it's going as it heads up, even clipping Goodman.
And just out of curiosity, Doug, I've just popped off the magic track just because I wanted to see what the system's suggesting that could be. It could be approaching teacup size hail, so at least maybe 2-inch diameter size hail with that, and I would not be surprised if that's the case right now.
So very large hail within the storm, plus we have the rotation across the region that at least we're picking up the wall cloud, if not a funnel cloud, but nothing has been on the ground, which is great news. Let's back up. Let's go back into southeastern parts of Kansas. Do you want to change to Tulsa radar on this guy? And then we'll get a little better look at the rotation within it.
There you go.
All right, let's zoom in and we'll see exactly where this guy is at this time. You can see here's Coffeyville. So it's a weird looking storm. The updraft's not even that strong, but it has put a tornado on the ground. So it's now working into southern parts of Lebec County. I want to pull out, let's see if we're still picking up any kind of debris whatsoever. Very little. You can kind of see this little discoloration here. So I'm going to assume this is not on the ground right now, unless if you can tell me otherwise, Nick.
As far as I know, they still have tornado confirmed in terms of the warning when Wichita put it out. We do have spotters around then, and they're trying to see if anything's still on the ground. But
so I mean, we need to take shelter like it is on the ground, because it has had at least a damaged path, and it has been producing a lot of debris. It's moving into southern parts of Lebec County right now. It's in southern parts of Lebec County, probably about 5 miles east of Coffeyville, but you can still see the red and the greens bumping up here, and that's why we're picking up at least this tornado warning. It's also very likely it's rain wrapped. You don't really see a notch, so and that's maybe that may be the reason why we're not getting a ton of spotter reports on this, because it's most likely rain wrapped, where you see this little core here. We aren't getting these notches on the storm.
Yeah, like that rotation, actually that radar image just updated. It's probably coming close to passing over the intersection of 166 and Kansas 101. And again, if you know anybody on the roads, definitely not a good idea to have them on 166 now. So be sure you give them a heads up and tell them at least get off the road until the storm passes.
So the latest data that we've gotten on this is a tornado on the ground. It looks like it's weakened a little bit, but let's still act like it's on the ground. Yeah. So make sure you take shelter. You can see here's Edna, and then heading west on 166. So here's Coffeyville at the edge of the screen. So we're talking about 5 miles to the east. So if you live in Edna, you need to take shelter. I'm going to zoom out a bit and we'll try to figure out where's it going to go if it continues to stay on the ground. Let me pan a little bit farther toward the north and to the east. So we will be really looking at Altamont and then Oswego. Those are the 2 towns that really need to watch this cell. Even if the tornado on the ground lifts and we just get a wall cloud, it can regenerate and produce another one. So that's why we continue to have the tornado warning out for this cell. And of course, we've had one on the ground. We've had damage with it. We saw that on the radar. You can see the debris ball as the cell continued to push off toward the north and to the east. Still looking at this guy here, very intense. Still, we're getting the rotation. We haven't had any reports of a tornado on the ground in McDonald County, but still, it is pushing off toward the north and to the east at a pretty good clip. The most impressive thing with this storm is the very bright pinks and the red. That is showing us our very intense hail core. So we're getting golf ball upwards to tennis ball size hail within this storm. You can see the update on the radar as it continues to push off toward the north and to the east. If you live in Anderson, if you live in Pineville, you are now safe from the tornadic part of this storm. This is now north and east of Pineville and also Anderson, continuing to work at about 30 to 35. Stella, you will be in line definitely for the hail core and also the rotation if it can hold the rotation. Again, we have not had anything confirmed on the ground with this cell. The only confirmed tornado we've had has now been in southern parts of Labette County. What do you got, Nick? Anything new?
Not seeing anything new, although I have seen a new update on that tornado warning for southern Nowata County. I'm wondering if it tried to ramp itself up again. Let's see. No, that's just radar indicated quarter-size hail. That's for southeastern Nowata, southwestern Craig County. Thankfully staying just northwest of the Will Rogers Turnpike as you venture on down southwest from there in Tulsa. And I'm still amazed I haven't seen anything coming out of McDonald County. But like you said, Doug, even if that rotation isn't producing a tornado on the ground, at the very least it is ensuring that large hail is forming way up in the sky and trying to make its way down to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very dangerous cell.
See anything coming out of that?
I'm not seeing anything on this.
Yeah, if anything on the CC tracker, we still have at least signs of debris. But of course, like you said, given that weakening velocity couplet, it could be just the debris just trying to settle out of the clouds. So hopefully this is a sign that the tornado isn't on the ground in southern Labette County near Edna.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's not on the ground right now, even though we don't have confirmed reports that it's not on the ground, but it's still tornado warned and can produce another tornado at any time. You can see it is just pushed a hair off toward the north and to the east. So now Edna, you're kind of on the backside of this storm, and now we're really watching Oswego and Altamont. You guys are going to be the next ones in line as it continues to push north and east at about 30 to 35. But right now, it does show weakening signs, but still you need to take shelter. You get anything on storm spotters?
Still have not seen a word on
What's
any
the new
of the
update
storms
here?
that spotters are on. Which one are we talking about? Southern
The one
Labette?
blinking on me,
Let's-
Labette.
All right, let's go back. Let's have a look. Southern Labette, they're obviously still keeping that tornado warning in effect. It went back to radar indicated location.
Yeah.
So for now, the tornado has lifted, but we still have that rotation near Edna or 8 miles southwest of Altamont. We want areas around Chitopa, Altamont, Edna, Mon Valley, Bartlett, and Angola. You should have been in their safe place about 15, 20 minutes ago when the warning was issued, but if you haven't done so, you need to do so now.
So we did see the very tight signature. You can see it on our velocity showing us the red and the green. It's kind of like a boat that's heading toward you. You see the red light and the green light. It shows you which direction the winds are going. But we had a confirmed tornado on the ground as it moved from Nowata County into southern parts of Labette. Has weakened some, still holding at least mid and maybe a little bit of low level rotation. Not enough to warrant a tornado on the ground, but still enough to warrant a tornado warning. So if you live in Oswego and Altamont and anywhere in between, you still need to take shelter. We also got to watch these guys. Northeastern parts of Oklahoma, you can see south of Nowata. These are going to work into Ottawa County, northern parts of Delaware County, here in about the next 30 to 45 minutes. So we want to watch those as they continue to really press in. Let's go back over to McDonald County. You can still see a decent amount of rotation. Again, you get the very bright red, and then you get the green. So where these meet, that's where we are picking up that rotation. Again, nothing has been confirmed on the ground. in McDonald County. Look at the hail core where you see the orange. That is showing us about golf ball size hail. It looks like the hail core has dropped a little bit, and that's probably a good sign. That means the updraft is starting to shrink, and most likely this storm is weakening just a hair. So that is good news. Maybe we'll lose this rotation here as we work through the next 15 to 20 minutes, but you can still see on the radar it's very tight. So this is northeast of Pineville. If you live in Pineville and Anderson, you're in the clear. Even though the sirens still may be going off, you are in the clear, but we are now looking really towards Stella. If you live near Stella, that's where you need to take shelter at this time as the storm continues to go northeast. What do you got, Nick?
If you don't mind, Doug, I'm going to hop off your magic track here, take you into northern Lawrence, southern Dade for a new tornado warning until 4 o'clock for the rotation. First appearances really trying to wrap up around Miller.
Yeah, you can see that very tight rotation, so near Miller. So we are looking just north of Mount Vernon, about 10 to 15 miles. This, assuming, is moving northeast at about 30 to 35 as well. So northern Dade and also, or northern Lawrence, southern parts of Dade County.
And you have Metro Track on if you want to investigate.
Great.
More.
So I want to zoom out and see what else is developing just due to all the numerous tornado warnings. So now we got the one northern parts of Lawrence, southern parts of Dade County. Radar indicated. Radar indicated means our radar is picking up the rotation, but we don't have confirmation that it is on the ground. But still, you have to take shelter even if you get radar indicated tornadoes. Let's go a little bit farther out. You can see one little cell which has been across northern parts of Newton County. Strong, not severe. We're still watching this cell, which has really been taking all the energy. Let's go back into him, and then we're going to go back to Labette County here in just a second. Zoom back in. I mean, you can still see the very tight couplet here, so we still have very strong rotation with this storm as it moves northeast. You can see Stella is here. In fact, let's go in a little bit tighter and see what other little towns are around there. We're looking at Plainview. The rotation is just north of you. You can see the new sweep went through, still holding that rotation. Stella, and then even Wheaton, you probably want to go ahead and take shelter. I'm going to zoom back out. In fact, we're going to go back a couple, and then we're going to pan over toward Labette County. So where you see this tornado warning where it was, this looks significantly weaker. And I can tell you the reason why right now. It's the storm in Nowata County has kind of taken all the energy, but you can see this storm has just collapsed. And this was the one that had the tornado on the ground, so I think we're pretty good with that, unless if you can tell me differently.
Just a little technical mishap on my end, but I'm trying to rectify that.
Okay, so that storm is collapsing in southern parts of Labette, so that's good news. Here's the bad news. What's sucking all the energy in is this guy right across Nowata County, and that is most likely going to become the new dominant storm as it continues to work north and east. So a lot to watch. As of right now, no tornado warnings or no tornadoes on the ground, but we have several tornado warnings. Still, Labette County, even though it looks like that storm has just collapsed, but still want to go ahead and take shelter. In fact, yeah, the main one now is eastern Nowata. Still, McDonald County, again, we've had funnel clouds, wall clouds with it, but we haven't had anything on the ground. And then we also have southern parts of Lawrence County, or northern parts of Lawrence County, southern parts of Dade County. Still looking at McDonald County here. You can see that tight rotation still, but we're just not getting much on this. Let's pull out, actually I can switch it over to the velocity here. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. You can still pick up the rotation with the green and the red, which are kind of banking against each other. So this is right about on top of Stella. Anything new, Nick?
Not seeing anything new. You're pretty.
What about damage? Anything damage?
Not seeing anything new, but if anything damaging, it's more northeast Oklahoma, right around Tulsa. At least Tulsa's coverage area. Thankfully, so far, no damage I can confirm in our area.
Okay, so we may jump off here for a second, but I want to give you a quick overview of everything that is going on now and what is going to work in. Again, we have the tornado warning, which is a funnel cloud. This is radar indicated. It's northern parts of Lawrence County, southern parts of Dade. We still have the tornado warning. This is McDonald County. This has mainly been a wall cloud, which that means the cloud's rotating, can drop a tornado. So you still need to take shelter even southern parts of, southeastern parts of Newton, northeastern parts of McDonald County. All these other individual supercells are strong but not severe. However, we really got them working, really blowing up in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. So we get one round, the atmosphere reloads. Then a new round comes in. Nick looks like he has something.
Just in general, I'm not seeing anything new right now, but we do have Dow Quick that just joined us at the news desk. If we wanted to go over to him with some information, we could. Dow, what do you have for us?
Well, we are looking for storm damage out there, and of course we haven't found it just yet, but we do want to keep people aware of some other means where you can get some information in addition to obviously the TV station that you're watching right now. On our website, if you go to KOAMnewsnow.com, you'll find links to a number of places, including to storm shelters in your neighborhood, also to emergency management agencies in the area. We're scrolling down through that just to give you an idea of what that looks like. And you click to one of the links to one of the emergency management sites. There you can see we have McDonald County, you also have Newton, Jasper County. You click on those sites, they can give you further information on exactly what is going on in your county, and they will forward that, of course, as they get it. It's very simple to do. Again, you go to KOAMnewsnow.com and you click on the links. A couple of bits of information we just want to remind you of the difference between a warning and a watch. A tornado warning means that a tornado is on the ground and you are in imminent danger potentially. That means you should seek shelter immediately. Be aware of potential storms in the event of a tornado watch. A tornado watch means that one could be coming at any point, so you need to know where you're going to go in the event of that. Severe weather thunderstorm warnings, severe storms are imminent, severe thunderstorm watch, severe storms are possible. And of course, throughout the day, we've had a mixture of both of those warnings and watches, and we're expecting that to continue into the evening. I've just been told I should ask people to send reports of pictures via Facebook. So if you have any storm damage in your area that you've taken some pictures of, please let us know. Just send them to our Facebook page and we can forward those for you. Nick, did you have something?
I just wanted to chime in too, Dal. If the viewers at home have our KOAM weather app, there's a way through the app there to send pictures into us as well, and it comes right into the station. It comes right into the weather center too. And again, it's easy to download and very handy to have on a day like today. Not just to send in any damaged pictures if any of our viewers see it, but to get free warnings. Anytime you fall underneath any severe thunderstorm or tornado warning, they will get that warning no matter where they are in the area, in addition to frequent updates from me and Doug.
Yeah,
but again, going back to what you said about the damaged pictures and sending them in, if the viewers have our app updated on iOS or Android through the Apple App Store and Google Play, they can just send the pictures right through to us that way.
And updated is a key point there. We've been telling people in recent days that they need to update that app. If they downloaded that app some months ago, it might not be completely current. And in fact, when some weather warnings came down last week, I think some people were pointing out they weren't getting that information on their app. It just means you need to go in and update it. It's pretty simple to do. You look at your device and it can talk you through that.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind, Doug, do we need to head back? Doug's chatting with somebody. Do we need to go back over to you, Doug?
Yeah, I'll do a quick overview of what is going on. I just want to reiterate that the tornado warning that we had in Labette County, we had one on the ground as it worked out of Nowata and Craig County right into southern parts of Labette. But we had a tornado on the ground, so we definitely had damage. That storm has collapsed. So if you live in Labette, if you did take shelter, which you should have, you are fine now. But we have numerous other tornado warnings. We got 5 on the map right now. These 3 in Oklahoma are working into the area, so we need to watch them. We still have the one northeastern parts of McDonald, southeastern parts of Newton, and then our tornado warning northern parts of Lawrence, and then into southern parts of Dade County. It's all these individual supercells. If you live north of I-44, the farther north you go, your severe threat starts to drop. It's mainly a hail and a wind threat. Farther south you go, the tornado threat increases, and that's why most of these storms have been right along the I-44 corridor, out across the Kansas and the Oklahoma state line. Let's go ahead and we're going to zoom in to parts of McDonald County. We're still getting that very strong signature. I just looked at the warning. There is still nothing on the ground, but it's capable of producing a tornado. A wall cloud, funnel cloud with this as it continues to work north and to the east. So here's Stella. So if you live in Stella, you need to take shelter. This is just to the south of Stella, and we'll continue to work in. In fact, I'll go a little bit tighter on this storm, and we'll look at the rotation. You can see the last radar sweep just went through. So yeah, this is just south of Stella, and I want to pull out the velocity for you, and we'll see how strong this rotation is right now. If I move this around, you can still see where the red and the green are butting up. So definitely take shelter if you live in northeastern parts of McDonald County, and then also in southeastern parts of Newton. Zoom out a little bit. We'll track to our second warning, which has been northern parts of Lawrence County, and this is almost moving into the Springfield region. But we'll go north just a little bit, and we'll be able to find this storm, which continues to have a very impressive signature. So this is northern parts of Lawrence County, southern parts of Dade. So it's right on the state or the county line of Lawrence and Dade, continuing to quickly roll north into the east. So this is pretty much going to be out of our viewing area here in about the next 2 to 3 minutes. So we won't have to worry about this storm as it continues to work east. But again, we have to watch all these storms as they are rebuilding in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. What do you got, Nicholas? Anything?
A new update on the tornado warning, Douglas, in northern Lawrence and southern Dade counties. Apparently, there is a tornado on the ground with that. It touched down, let's see, around Davis and First in the city of Miller. We can double check the correlation coefficients to see if it's still on the ground, but they have updated the tornado warning to confirm that there was a large and extremely dangerous tornado 9 miles north of Mount Vernon or near Miller. So if you know anybody out that way, and it's coming close to western parts of Greene County, southwestern Polk County, they're covered by the Springfield television market. But if you know anybody right around Ash Grove, Willard, be sure you give them a heads up and tell them to think about where their safe place is and if they need to go there now.
Okay, so obviously a very strong signature. So we've been watching that. Thankfully, this is moving out of our area, but obviously has done damage. We've already had a couple tornadoes that have done some form of damage. The one northern parts of Craig into southern Labette. This guy moving into southeastern parts of Newton has luckily just been containing a funnel cloud and a wall cloud, so we haven't had any damage out of that. So as of right now, at least in our immediate area, we don't have anything on the ground, but we still have the warned storm northeastern parts of McDonald County, and this has been going on for quite some time now, since Delaware County. Again, we want to look northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Look at these storms continue to refire. Even when you get these big ones, you get these right behind it, so they're continuing to regenerate and push in. So even if you've already had storms work through, it's going to stay very active. I don't even have an idea what time it is. What time is it?
We are at 3:41.
So
it's about
3:41. Tornado threat's going to stay high for about the next 4 to 5 hours. And then we'll switch over to more of a wind and a hail threat after that point in time.
All right, I'll just join you in the wall for just a second here to say I've been looking at behind the scenes of these storms in northeast Oklahoma. Thankfully, we do not have any tornadoes on the ground with these right now. The only one we have on the ground is the one north of Miller, but at least thankfully these are starting to behave a little more the way that we want them to right now.
So we may be with you a lot this afternoon. Right now, just because we don't have anything on the ground, we're going to do a brief break, kind of regroup. But still, if you live in northeastern parts of McDonald County, southeastern parts of Lawrence, go ahead and take shelter. Even though this storm hasn't had the history of producing a tornado, has had the history of rotation. So you want to watch that as it is moving right over Stella at this point in time. Make sure you keep it here. Of course, we're going to keep you updated. For now, we'll throw it back to program.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
By the way, they'll love that. They love it.
Hey, welcome back. Meteorologist Doug Heddy want to give you a severe weather update once again. We still have the tornado watches and numerous tornado warnings. We have had now confirmed reports that finally the one in Newton County, McDonald County, now northern parts of Berry County has dropped a tornado, or at least small little vortices across the region. So let's check out where this rotation is. So it's now east of Stella, but it's fairly tight, so it's now moving into Berry County. And it's very possible one's on the ground right now. It at least has in the past 2 or 3 minutes. It has produced some small tornadoes. So this is still very dangerous. So if you live in Purdy, you need to take shelter as it continues to work toward you over about the next 10 to 15 minutes. Let's see here. Let's look at the hail. You can see the hails. You want to take me off magic track and work me around a little bit. We can see the hail within this storm. It has dropped actually quite a bit, but still probably half dollar size hail within this storm, and you can see how it kind of wraps around where the rotation is. Let's go ahead and look at velocity. We'll pull up velocity and we'll see exactly where our rotation is. And you can see this little coupler right in here. So probably 3 or 4 miles, well, probably 5 miles east of Stella, where you see the red and the green where they're bumping up. That's where we are getting that tornado, or at least in the past 5 minutes has produced some small little vortices, but obviously can produce damage. Heading toward Purdy, so make sure you are very careful and make sure you take shelter. Let's go back to the west. Am I in mode? Okay, let's go back to the west. We also have another tornado warning. This has been mainly across parts of Craig County, but the warning extends in the northern parts of Ottawa. So the sirens may be going off in Miami or also in Commerce, but the storm is still really a decent amount away from you, about 15 to 20 minutes. But I'm going to zoom in. You can see this little bit of a couplet right on the front side. So this is about 2 or 3 miles to the south of Welch, but is continuing to track north and east at about 30 miles per hour, and eventually will go into northern parts of Ottawa County. You have anything new on any of these storms, Nicholas?
I have tornado debris on that signature in the northern parts of Barry County. Yeah, if we could, actually, let's go pop up camera 3 if we could, please. And then on the band, the big monitor behind me, if we can just take that full and pop up max 2 on there, if we could. Max 2, if that's possible, in the control room. I believe it on max 2, I believe we have, there we go. And this, actually, let me reorient the map here just to show everybody. That's tornado debris. So this is on the ground, and ever since we had the dual polar radar upgrades, the 2 beams at the horizontal and the vertical, they're comparing the different hydrometers in here. That's not saying it's rain or hail. We have confirmed debris with this, so odds are very likely, Doug, this tornado is on the ground causing damage in northern parts of Barry County.
All right, so that is now moved out of Newton County and also Jasper County. So we are looking at the state line, not state line, the county line of Newton and Barry County, and we can really see this little notch right in here. If you live in Purdy, this is right along Highway 37 that goes into Cassville in the north toward Aurora, but that is a very strong signature and due to the debris signature, so we know it's on the ground, and when you see that signature on the radar, that means it's throwing stuff up in the air. So we know it's on the ground. Western parts of Barry County need to take shelter as it heads east toward Purdy. Do you have anything on northeastern Oklahoma?
Let's see here. Actually, the Tulsa Weather Service office issued a tornado warning for Benton County.
Okay.
That's radar indicated. So far, nothing confirmed with that, and quarter-size hail is also possible with that. Other than that, just a few tornado reports for the storms in northeast Oklahoma outside of our area.
So let's go ahead and recap what is going on real quickly in western parts of Barry County now. So this is going to approach Highway 37, which where it's at right now on the ground, there's not a lot out there. But as it continues to push east, the small town of Purdy will be affected here in about the next 5 minutes. So you need to take shelter as it continues to work through northern parts of Barry County. Has been on the ground. We know it's throwing debris in the ground, trees. Yeah. So definitely a dangerous situation in northern parts of Barry County.
Sorry, Doug, didn't mean to interrupt, but we can show everybody it's still on the ground. Look at that debris signature right there.
Yeah, if you pull up max 2
we can go back to Doug at the wall. We have a pop-up right there.
So you can see here's Purdy. When you see this, that is showing a lot of debris in the air. So this is continuing to work north-northeast toward Purdy. I would even take shelter if you live in Butterfield as well, just in case. So that is a dangerous situation as it continues to track across northern parts of Barry County, kind of out of our region and then into the Springfield DMA as it continues to work across southwestern parts of Missouri. I'm going to back up here and I want to see what else is developed. We're continuing to get these storms racing northeastern Oklahoma. So you can see the one just west of Purdy is here. More cells developing southern parts of Newton County. That guy, Craig County, which is warranted the warning northern parts of Ottawa. Look at all these guys in Delaware County. So this is a very, very active scenario at this time. It's going to stay that way as we work through the evening hours. Of course, I'll keep you updated, but make sure you keep it here. I'm going to throw it back to programming.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
Good afternoon. Meteorologist Doug Heddy. I want to continue to update you on our severe weather, which is rolling through southwestern parts of Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas. We still have a tornado on the ground. It has weakened a little bit, but it's just to the west of Purdy, northern parts of Berry County. But when we were looking at the debris within the storm, it obviously was doing damage as it's rolling across northwestern parts of Berry County. At the same time, a second one has developed down across very close to Eagle Rock, southeastern parts of Berry County, which is also producing. Did you take me out of, were you throwing me back in?
Throw you back on play mode here.
So we've also had a tornado warning in southeastern parts of Berry County. Also watching Craig County and then into western parts of Ottawa County. This has been radar indicated, but your sirens may be going off in Miami, Commerce, even Wyandotte, as you work in the northern parts of Ottawa County, but we haven't seen anything that has been on the ground with that. That has just been radar indicated. So that is what's going on right now. So we need to watch these cells as they continue to work into the metro over the next few hours. Make sure you keep it here. Of course, I'm going to keep you updated. For now, we're going to go back to programming.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
Good afternoon. Meteorologist Doug Heddy. I want to update you on our severe weather, which has been working through. We still have the tornado warnings in effect, or watch across most of the area. We do have now a severe thunderstorm warning, which is in southern parts, or actually northern parts of Lawrence County, and we still have our tornado warning eastern parts of Berry County and then down through Benton County. So these are at least rolling out of the area. We do have a tornado warning, which is in northern parts of Ottawa County. It has had rotation with the storm. We haven't had anything really confirmed with it, meaning much of funnel clouds or wall clouds, just radar indicated rotation. And it's continuing to push north into the east. You can still see the numerous supercells which continue to pop up across the region. So it's this cell right here. You can see it just clusters of storms which are kind of moving into it. So I don't think this is going to hold much rotation as it moves into the Joplin metro. It's really on the southwest side of the metro, but as it continues to work through Joplin proper, I don't think it's going to hold a ton of rotation, but right now it is. So this is Miami, just north. So really from Miami to Commerce, you need to take shelter just in case, as we are getting this little bit of rotation that is moving northeast right along Interstate 44. You need to pay attention on I-44 from Miami all the way up to downstream Baxter, and then eventually into Joplin. Again, nothing on the ground with this. It's just rotation, but it can drop a tornado at any time. So make sure you're in your shelter. Miami to Commerce to Quapaw will continue to push northeast into the Joplin metro over the next 15 to 20 minutes. We'll see if it can hold rotation. Hopefully it doesn't, but we're going to continue to watch it. Make sure that in northeastern Ottawa County, you go ahead and take shelter and keep it here. I'll keep you updated. For now, we're going to throw it back to programming.
Okay.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
Good afternoon, meteorologist Doug Heddy. I want to continue to update you on our severe weather across the region. Most of the Joplin metro now is at least under a severe thunderstorm warning, and then the southwest side and northern parts of Ottawa County, we do have a tornado warning. We have had some spotters report that there's it's possibly hit the ground north of Miami or just to the north and to the west of Miami, but we haven't had a lot of reports of this, so we're still really trying to confirm that, unless you can find anything new on that. Can you, Nicholas?
No, nothing new there.
All right, we still have severe or tornado warnings. This is parts of Lawrence County, and then this guy's moved out of Berry County, thankfully, just east of Monette and Aurora, but also has produced another tornado on the ground. So we've had, I'm not even sure, 4 or 5 that have been on the ground throughout the afternoon. We've had one in Nowata, Craig County, in the southern parts of Labette, McDonald County, parts of Newton County, Berry County, Lawrence County have all been on the ground. And possibly Ottawa County as well. So let's go ahead and zoom in. Look at all the supercells which continue to work through over the past several hours. Let's take Nick off here until we start to talk to him. But you can see all these storms continuing to work off toward the north and to the east. The difference that I'm seeing now compared to an hour or 2 hours ago is we are seeing these storms starting to kind of converge into each other. And then look at the line that is developing in our western counties. So I think our tornado threat will slowly decrease from this point on. It's still pretty high right now. It's still going to be pretty high in an hour, but it will start to drop off just a bit. But look at all the storms. See the tornado warnings off to our east, and then still in parts of Ottawa County. So let's go into Ottawa County. Let's look at this guy. We're getting a little bit of rotation on the north side of it, and as it was just a little bit farther west, it possibly could have dropped a very small, brief tornado just northwest of Miami. But this guy is tracking north and east at about 30 miles per hour. Still has rotation with it, which we can take a quick look at and make sure that we'll see how much rotation it's got with it. Let's go right into here.
Yeah, last I checked behind the scenes, didn't look very tight.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Weak.
Let me quickly.
But what we're going to do is this is going to continue to track northeast. Where are you taking me, Nicholas?
No, it's like you were trying to look at that from the Springfield site. You should have a better look at this from Tulsa's site. Still not looking very impressive.
All right, clear it off. So what this storm is going to do is it's going to continue to track off toward the north and to the east, and it is moving into the Joplin metro. Now, even though the rotation is not very strong, it can still drop a tornado at any time. So this is going to track right up I-44. So if you do live in northeastern parts of Ottawa County, go ahead, take shelter just in case. And then we're going to watch it move into the Joplin metro, and hopefully it will lose its rotation. But as of right now, it doesn't look like anything's on the ground, but it does have a history of possibly producing a very small, very quick little tornado. Is there anything else on this? The problem with Ottawa County is it's in between National Weather Service offices, and sometimes we don't get all the information we want to get.
Not seeing anything too new here, Doug.
So this is going to continue to track in. We're going to continue to watch it. I would go ahead and still take cover if you live northeastern parts of Ottawa County. At least the tornadic part of the cell is now out of Miami and also Commerce, Qualpaugh here in about 5 minutes or so. It's also approaching 5 o'clock noon, so we're going to have a lot of coverage on all the storms going on, and will continue to go on through the evening, and also the damage that has been produced. So make sure you keep it here. Of course, we're going to keep you updated on everything throughout the evening hours, but for now, we'll throw it back to programming.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
You are in play mode.
All right. Good afternoon, guys. Meteorologist Doug Heddy. I want to keep you updated with what's been going on. We've had numerous tornadoes that have touched ground, or touched down over the past several hours. We have numerous damage reports across Labette, Craig, Nowata counties. We had a brief touchdown in Ottawa. We have damage reports in Newton County, McDonald County, Barry County, Lawrence County, Dade County, Benton County, near Branson. So this has been a very active afternoon. We continue to get the tornado warnings which are rolling through. One is now working into the Joplin metro. Let's look at the radar, and you can see all these storms. The one thing that I do see that is looking a little bit better is we aren't seeing the individual supercells. They're kind of going into a line a little bit more, not really a line yet, but more of just a big batch of thunderstorms. You can see the line developing out to the west. Tornado threat right now, especially along and south of Interstate 44, is high. It's going to stay high for the next hour or two. Then in about 2 hours, we'll drop down to about a moderate level. And then about 2 hours later, we'll start to drop to low, and we're going to switch mainly to a hail and a high wind situation. But we do still have some very dangerous storms out there. We have one tornado warning that is just to the east of Grove that does include McDonald County, southern parts of Newton County. We've had a tornado warning in northeastern parts of Ottawa County, and then a severe thunderstorm warning through the Joplin area. So let's go ahead and zoom in. And this storm is highly disorganized now. It's really, most of the energy is getting sucked back into parts of Craig County, but we have had some rotation with this. You probably want to go ahead and still stay in your shelter in northeastern parts of Ottawa County, at least for the next 5 or 10 minutes, and then this should go away. But we do continue to have severe thunderstorm warnings all the way up from Low, Melinda, and then we're looking at the west side of Joplin. So Galena, Riverton, maybe some small hail, very heavy amounts of rain. Let's track a little bit farther south. This is one of our newer cells which have popped up. So now it's to the north and to the east of Grand Lake and Grove, but you can see a little bit of a couplet which has been developing. So we see this little notch right in here, and that is our rotation, and that's what has warranted this tornado warning. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to pull out our velocity, and this really shows us the winds in the storm. See how the green and the red meet up? So that's where we are seeing the rotation as this continues to track off toward the north and to the east. If you want to know where it's going to be tracking northern parts of McDonald County. So if you live in Goodman, so here's I-49, so still 7-8 minutes west of I-49, little town of Harp, and then it's going to track in the southern parts of Newton County as we work through the next 15 to 20 minutes. All these storms will continue to push north into the east over really about the next 2 or 3 hours, and then finally we'll get rid of it late this evening. Look at all of our storm reports. Tornado confirmed, southern Labette to tornado confirmed, Ottawa County. These guys did some damage in parts of Newton and then also McDonald County, and then as it pushed into western parts of Berry County. We know Wheaton has a lot of damage with these tornadoes. Another one was a large tornado just north of Mount Vernon. So just a ton of action across the region, and I expect to continue to see at least a few more tornado warnings as we work through the evening hours. Again, right now we have tornado warnings southern parts of Newton, McDonald. As this cell works out, I think this one's going to drop unless the storm regenerates northeastern parts of Ottawa County. And then here in the yellow, these are severe thunderstorm warnings as the cells continue to work right into the western side of the Joplin Metro. In fact, let me skip forward here and we'll go through time. So this is our future track forecast. This is going to show us what's going to happen as we work through the rest of the evening hours. Of course, it's 5 p.m. Look at all the cells tracking all the way back Interstate 44. They continue to work through, but look how they kind of line up and align. So this is 8 p.m. I think at this point in time, we'll start to switch more to a hail and a high wind threat. We'll still have a tornado threat, but it's going to be a little bit lower than what we have now. This line will start to push through. Here's 11 p.m. I think by 11 p.m., Kansas and Oklahoma is pretty much in the clear, but we're still going to have the high wind threat in Missouri. Then as we continue through time, here's 2 a.m. I think at that point in time, our severe threat is gone for tonight. Returns once again tomorrow afternoon, but for tonight, that's when things will start to improve. All right, I'm going to go ahead. We're in the 5 o'clock news. I'm going to toss it over to Mr. Dow quick, and he's going to have the latest.
This is KOAM News at 5. Over the next half hour, we're going to be looking at some local and national news as time allows. We'll be checking back with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty as necessary. I know some of you have been watching Doug and Nick Kelly throughout the afternoon, and since we've just passed into the 5 o'clock news hour and some of you have just been joining us perhaps, I'm going to start with you, Doug, just for a quick weather recap for those who might not have been watching throughout the afternoon. Can you tell us what's been going on?
Yeah, we've had just numerous rounds of severe weather throughout, really since about 11 o'clock this morning. Everybody in the purple here, this is showing us our tornado watches in effect. The greatest tornado threat now and really through the afternoon and over the next few hours is along and south of Interstate 44, and that's where we are seeing it. You can see the numerous tornado warnings just west of Springfield, Branson, Bentonville, and then up through McDonald, southern parts of Newton, and even the eastern parts of Delaware County. We also have the one which I do think is going to expire, northeastern parts of Ottawa County. But we've had several tornadoes that have touched down throughout the afternoon. We've had quite a bit of damage. In fact, I'll skip forward and pull up this map. Look at all the tornadoes that have been confirmed on the ground. So this is Nowata County, Labette County. We know there's some damage there. Western Ottawa County, this was a very brief tornado, but we do know we have damage back northeastern parts of McDonald, southeastern parts of Newton, and then into the western and northwestern side of Berry County. Near Wheaton, we know there's significant damage there. And then these stretch north near Mount Vernon, just north of Mount Vernon. We've had additional tornado warnings, and I can back up here and look at all the showers and thunderstorms that continue to just pop up. Now, when we look from Wichita to Oklahoma City, this is kind of the final blast but we still have many, many hours to go. You need to pay attention. The atmosphere is still very ripe, and we are going to have additional tornado warnings.
And we will check back with you as often as necessary throughout this broadcast and later. Thanks, Doug. In the meantime, cleanup is underway in parts of eastern Kansas after storms blew through over the weekend and yesterday. The Miami County, Kansas Sheriff's Office shared video on its Facebook page after people cleaning up from storms in the town of Paola. Emergency crews say a microburst also might be the cause of a train derailment in Chase County yesterday. No injuries were reported. Authorities.
Welcome back, guys. Meteorologist Doug Henning. I want to continue to update you as we go through. Will you switch over and give me a return video on the prompter, please? I would appreciate that. But we have numerous still warnings across the area. In the purple, this is showing us our tornado watch, which has been in effect throughout the day. In the yellow, this is our severe thunderstorm warnings, eastern parts of Cherokee, and then really the west side of the Joplin Metro. And then everybody in the red, these are tornado warnings. And we've had numerous tornadoes throughout the afternoon hours. A lot have touched the ground, a lot have done some damage. We're still getting a lot of that information in. The good news, the best news I can say out of all this is you can see the storms, they're not individual supercells anymore. We still have a few of them which are producing tornadoes and rotation, but especially along and north of I-44, they're kind of combining more into a complex, and this is the transition that we will see eventually over to a big line that is going to roll through late this evening. But we still have a lot of storms that we really need to pay attention. You can see right through Joplin, all the way down through Neosho, and then this next complex, which is back building into parts of Craig County, really from Veneta to Miami. So let's go ahead and zoom in. It's just really one huge tornado warning. I'm going to go to the north here just a bit. You can see from through the Joplin Metro, moving into Carthage, Oronogo, Webb City. This is all heavy amounts of rain, probably quarter-size hail, seeing winds at 55, maybe 60 miles per hour. These extend on the west side of the Metro, Riverton, Galena, Baxter. And then as we work into northeastern parts of Oklahoma, we had a little bit of rotation around this guy here. There may still be some mid-level rotation, but I'm not worried about at least anything tornadic at this time, and that's why we have severe thunderstorm warnings as you work east of Ottawa County. Of course, from Indigo Sky all the way over toward Miami, your sirens are probably still going off. Now, back building just west of Miami and all the way down to Veneta, we really got to watch these complex of storms as they continue, especially when we get, even though we're not seeing the individual supercells, but whenever we get these notches that start to develop, those are a lot of areas that like to produce some rotation. Let's go into northern parts of McDonald County. This is a whole separate cell moving into southern parts of Newton County. So to get your bearings straight, here's Seneca, here's Neosho, south along 49. So it's this cell, and we've had some rotation right in here. So just to the northwest of Goodman, we don't have anything on the ground, which is good, but we have had some funnel clouds and also a wall cloud, so it is rotating. So it definitely can drop a tornado at any time. So you still need to take shelter northern parts of McDonald, southern parts of Newton County. And if we widen, all these warnings are due to this complex which is rolling in. I know it's kind of confusing. We have so many storms out there, but really this whole area, we really need to watch it. One, this cell, and then all these moving back into Ottawa County, northern parts of Delaware County. The Joplin Metro right now, or most of Joplin, is just a severe thunderstorm warning, but we are seeing a lot of hail and a lot of wind with all these cells which are working through. Look at the numerous tornado reports we've already had. You can see our severe thunderstorm warning just got dropped in the Joplin area, which is good. But we're looking at Nowata County. We had a very large tornado on the ground as it rolled out of Nowata into southern parts of Labette. We know there's damage out there. We don't know the extent of the damage, which we will figure out. We've had a couple touchdowns now in northwestern parts of Ottawa County. These have been very small tornadoes, but probably did some damage. These guys were much bigger as it rolled out of Delaware County into eastern parts, northeastern parts of McDonald County, and then them pushing into northern parts of Berry County. We've had several touchdowns, and we know Wheaton has extensive damage, and then as it worked toward Purdy. Also another one just to the north of Mount Vernon, which was also a large tornado on the ground. I do want to check with Nick real quick and make sure that nothing new has popped up as we're on here. And I'll continue to go through what's going to happen through the evening when Nick's looking at that. So over the next few hours, still we're going to have that tornado threat, especially along and south of Interstate 44. But you can see these storms kind of back build, and eventually a line is going to roll through as we work into the overnight hours for us tonight. Before I throw it back to Dow, I want to make sure, I'm going to toss it over to Nick real quick and make sure these warnings in northeastern parts of Oklahoma haven't produced anything new.
Absolutely, Doug. At last check, I have not seen anything new on the ground. Any tornado warnings we have in northeastern Oklahoma, they're just radar indicated, which is good. That's a step in the right direction. But as Doug has said, we're still a far ways away from being done. So we just need to keep paying close attention to the skies and the radar. Of course, Doug and I will be doing just that as we head into the rest of the night.
All right. Sounds good. Mr. Quick.
Well, obviously, weather is a priority on a day like this, so we're going to check to see where we are. We're going to let you catch your breath briefly. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more weather.
Well, of course, it's been a wild day weather-wise. We got showers, we got thunderstorms during the morning hours, and then our atmosphere was never capped. It's kind of like if you take a Coke bottle and you shake it up and you have the cap on, you're okay. But if you take off the cap, then it explodes. We haven't had a cap all day, so that's why these storms just blew up very early, late morning into the early afternoon. We've had numerous tornado warnings. I can see a new update popping up there in southern parts of Newton County. It's just been lit up like a Christmas tree throughout the entire day. Still, everybody in the purple, this is showing us our tornado watch. Now, the lower threat, Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, Fredonia, and Neodesha, you are going to have a severe threat with hail and wind as we work through the evening. But the greater tornado threat is really I-44 and south. That's where most of the action has been. That's where most of the action, tornadic-wise, is going to stick around. Look at our loop over the past couple hours. You can see at least a couple hours ago, the cells were a little bit more individual, like standing alone. Now they're kind of mashing together, which is a good sign. That means we're in that progress to switch over to line. Here's the main line that's going to work in. Still, until this main line works all the way through the area, we're going to have that severe threat, that tornadic threat as well over the next few hours. But also our hail threat and our wind threat is going to increase as we switch over. But you can see all these individual cells. So we have thunderstorms just everywhere across the region, through the Joplin Metro, so Lamar, Stockton, all the way down to Neosho. We have a big complex near Table Rock Lake, another big series of storms working out of northeastern parts of Oklahoma. All these showers and thunderstorms on the Kansas side, from Parsons, Chanute, Iola, Fredonia, Independence. These are all strong, just below severe limits, but could still produce some small little hail as they continue to work off toward the north and to the east. All right, 2 tornado warnings, one across southern parts of Newton County as this cell has been lifting off toward the north and to the east. A little bit of rotation just to the south of Neosho. Also, we've had this huge complex which has been rolling out, and we keep getting storms back building into northeastern Oklahoma, so we continue to get new tornado warnings. So just north of Grand Lake, Fairland, Miami, your sirens may be going off. We have had a little rotation here and then rotation back through here just to the south and to the east of Anita. But all this is going to continue to work off toward the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Before we go on, I want to switch over to Nick Kelly because he's looking at all the storm chasers out there, the spotters, and he can give us the latest updates on any of these tornado warnings.
So far, thankfully, Doug, nothing on the ground with these tornado warnings right now, with maybe the lone exception being, let's say, the storms exiting southeastern Berry County, working over Table Rock Lake. So far, I have not seen anything new out of this. But as you have said, we are just going to keep a close eye on things as we go through the rest of the evening. Boss?
Sounds good. So you definitely still want to take shelter in southern parts of Ottawa County as these storms rotate in, as we've seen throughout the afternoon. Even a radar-indicated tornado warning can produce a tornado as we work through time. Look at all the tornado reports. We've kind of gone over these. We've had extensive damage in a lot of areas. We're still kind of gathering that. We're getting the showers, we're getting the thunderstorms that are rolling through, so it's kind of hard to see how much damage there is. Let's go through time the rest of the evening. That line out across southeastern Kansas really solidifies. At this point, 8 p.m., we could still get some tornado warnings, but we're going to see a lot more severe thunderstorm warnings with high wind and hail as these continue to push through. Let's go into the overnight hours. Here's 11 p.m. I think by 11, we're really going to be winding down. We're going to be looking much better as we work through the rest of the evening into the overnight hours. Here's 2 a.m. We're still going to have scattered showers and thunderstorms, but everything is working out. Our severe threat will be dropping. Unfortunately, the severe threat returns once again for us by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. So that's something we'll have to keep our eyes on. And even thunderstorms sticking around on Thursday. Down, to be real honest, we've been so busy we haven't had time to make a 7-day, but severe threat sticks around tomorrow, thunderstorms into Thursday morning, and then more severe weather on Sunday and Monday. We'll just call it 70s about every day because that's about where we're going to be.
I'm glad that you and the rest of the weather team are keeping us up to date. I know it's been a busy day. It could be a busy night, busy several days ahead. I would tell you we have more news ahead, but I'm not quite sure. We might just have some more weather ahead. First, we will recognize a local veteran. Before we check back with Doug, we'll remind you the CBS Evening News is just ahead. Then on KOAM News at 6, apartment flooding in Arma, Kansas. In addition to the potential for tornadoes and hail and high winds that Doug's been telling us about, some areas have received heavy rainfall. We're going to show you more, and we're inviting viewers to send their photos of the storms and damage to the KOAM Facebook page. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Now, as many of you know, Doug has been following the severe weather throughout the afternoon. We'll continue to do so throughout the evening. Let's check back with him right now.
Yeah, we still have a ways to go before all this pushes out. We have new severe thunderstorm warnings now across Wilson, and then also Allen County, Neosho County, and then Labette, and then back through Montgomery. We still have the tornado warning, Ottawa, northern parts of Delaware County, and then also southern parts of Newton County, as we've had numerous showers and thunderstorms, severe weather, which has been working through. Quickly zooming in, the rotation for southern parts of Ottawa County is due to this big complex just to the east of Veneta. It's radar indicated, so we don't have anything on the ground, but it's definitely something we want to watch as we work through about the next 15 to 20 minutes as it continues to work northeast. Here's Neosho, so we still have some rotation just on the south side of Neosho. It's very weak, nothing on the ground. Still want to watch it. We'll see as it lifts northeast at about 30 miles per hour if that warning continues, if we have enough rotation to keep that warning warranted. These severe thunderstorms, these are mainly just winds at 55 to 60, and we're getting some pea-sized hail within these storms. Remember, we got a long time to go before all this is out of here. It's going to be sticking around until about 10 or 11 o'clock for us tonight, so we're going to have pretty much coverage when we need to throughout the evening hours.
Stay tuned, stay safe. We'll see you back here at 6. Doug might see you sooner than that. Let's make it a great evening. The latest on a wave of severe weather making its way through the 4 states. Plus,
the creators of a citizens petition in Fort Scott are speaking out after the city says they are not going to address the petition. I'm Zach Dodge with the story.
At-home dialysis is making difference for a Joplin crash victim and his caregiver.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Strong, damaging storms are moving through parts of the 4 states. This is KOAM News at 6. We go straight to meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we've had just rounds of showers and thunderstorms, and we're going to continue to get rounds of showers and thunderstorms as we work through the rest of the evening hours. We've had numerous tornado warnings, too many to even I can count right now. We've had probably 6 or 7 that have done damage on the ground. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. We're looking at Wilson, Montgomery, Labatt, Neosho, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee. These are blinking because they just now came out. We have a tornado warning still in eastern parts of Ottawa County, and then also a tornado warning as you work into Benton County. Look at all the storms just racing off toward the north and to the east. Here is the good news. We've had individual supercells all afternoon. That's what has produced all the tornadoes. But see how now they're more kind of in a line working through. You still get the individual supercells in our far southern counties, so that's the tornado threat is shifting a little bit farther south, at least the big tornado threat. We're going to start to shift over to more of a hail and wind threat as we work through the next several hours, but very strong, heavy amounts of rain. I want to zoom into the tornado warning at least real quickly first, and we're still getting at least a little bit of rotation in here. It's not a lot of rotation, but very little rotation, but still enough to warrant a severe or a tornado warning across the region. We're going to continue to watch this as it pushes off toward the north and to the east. Here's our velocity, and where you see the green and the red just to the west of Indigo Sky kind of meeting up, that's why we still have the tornado warning. I don't know if it's going to be enough to warrant it as it moves into western parts of Newton County, but of course we'll keep our eyes on that. As we work through the evening, we again will progress over to more hail and wind, very heavy amounts of rain. I'm going to talk more about what is to come here in just a bit.
Doug, thanks. This is video of a tornado near Wheaton, Missouri in Berry County today. We've received reports this tornado caused damage to at least some barns in that area. Take a look at this now. This is video out of Sulphur, Oklahoma of a tornado that touched down there. It was in a rural area near Hill Creek. The National Weather Service says it was on the ground for 8 minutes. Residents of an Arma, Kansas apartment building are dealing with a lot of water, some flooding. They tell us it's due to an ongoing drainage issue there that's been made worse by today's heavy rain. The National Weather Service says a tornado near Paola, Kansas was a small one, but as you see, it was still enough to cause damage. The twister, with winds estimated at 80 to 85 miles per hour, was reported early Monday morning just south of Paola. Jason Layton of the National Weather Service says it was an EF0, 15 yards wide, lasted 3 minutes. A little bit later, a Pittsburgh high school football standout is heading to the pros. We're going to hear from him in sports.
Plus, I'm going to give you all the latest on the severe weather rolling through coming up next. Well, of course, it's been a crazy morning, very active afternoon. One of our bigger tornado outbreaks, meaning the number of them that we've had in several years, and we still have numerous tornado warnings which have been going on really across Central Plains, and we still have a tornado warning in eastern parts of Ottawa County, a very tiny little guy in Benton County, and then a cluster over toward Branson. Now, in the yellow, these are all severe thunderstorm warnings, meaning winds at about 60, maybe even stronger than that, and then upwards to quarter-size hail. Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee, Neosho, Labette, and then down through Nowata and also Craig counties in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Look at the radar. It's just lit up like a Christmas tree. Just showers, just thunderstorms all day long. The good news here that we are seeing, and you can see all these little gray little spots, that's all lightning data. So just a ton of thunder and lightning within these storms. But the good thing here is we aren't seeing the individual supercells like we had a little bit earlier today. It's more kind of into a line or more of a complex. So as this continues through the evening hours, our tornado threat will slowly start to drop. It's not going to be non-existent, but it will slowly start to drop, which is the good news. Huge cluster, which is rolling through southeastern Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. And I think this is really the last big punch. If we look back toward the west, these are lighter showers and thunderstorms. So if you live in Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, Fredonia, Neodesha, Independence, we're going to go ahead and throw in Erie and then also Parsons. Your severe threat is pretty much done. It's going to be showers and thunderstorms. You may get a random severe thunderstorm, but back in our northwestern counties, things are really going to wind down. Everybody east, we still have the big severe threat across the region. Let's go ahead and zoom in. We're going to go into Ottawa County, where we have the tornado warning on here, which has been able to expire. So this is now just a very strong to severe storm. This extends over into Newton County as well. Newton County, we had a little tornado warning, a little tiny guy with this cell that worked up in the southern parts of Jasper County, and it really just kind of fell apart. So that is the good news. But look at all the confirmed tornadoes that we've had. We had This guy out here, he was pretty big. We had monster debris signature on it, so we know it was doing damage. We had a little bit of damage, brief one in southern Labette. You can see the new severe thunderstorm warning, which replaces the tornado warning now in Ottawa County. Had a couple quick touchdowns in Ottawa County as well. And then as we worked into McDonald County, southeastern parts of Newton, and western parts of Barry County, several touchdowns. We had a very strong signature as well as it rolled through Wheaton. Wheaton had some damage. I've seen plenty of Facebook pics that have shown barns and a couple houses damaged due to this series of tornadoes. We also had one on the ground just north of Mount Vernon that also did some damage. So it's been a very active day. We've had some large hail as well as these have continued to work through. So from this point on, watch how these are kind of going into a line. You'll see it over the next couple frames here. It's more of a line. So I think our severe threat's still going to be there, but our tornado threat will slowly start to drop. Other big aspect to this is the rain. We've had tremendous amounts of rain. We're getting 2, 3, upwards of 4 inches have already fallen, especially along and north of Interstate 44, and we're going to continue to get very heavy amounts of rain through the rest of the evening hours. Let's go through time. This line continues to work through. Here's 9 p.m. I think our severe threat's going to be rapidly dropping here after 8 or 9 o'clock. And then we're just talking heavy rain, which we still have to watch out for the flooding. All this is going to roll out of here midnight, 1 o'clock. After midnight, it's going to be nice. But unfortunately, our front's going to lift back toward the north tomorrow, and we're going to see additional scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region. And some of those could be strong to severe. Nothing like what we have seen today, but we are going to have a threat. Now, we still haven't got a chance to even build a 7-day yet because we've been so busy. But this is one Nick used this morning, and not much has changed. Thunderstorms, upper 70s tomorrow, lasting into Thursday morning, a few more late Friday, and then again Sunday and Monday. So very active stretch. And of course, as our severe threat continues through the evening, we'll keep you updated.
As you always do. I know it's been a busy day for you and the weather team. We appreciate it. Thanks, Doug.
Hey, quick weather update. Once again, we do have another tornado warning, which is now for Crawford and also southern parts of Bourbon County. And this is on the leading edge. These are the smaller spin-up tornadoes that we will get, but we are getting pretty good rotation. So just east of Arma, on the north side of Pittsburgh, Arma, Frontenac, and just to the west of Liberal once you get into Barton County. But I'll go ahead and I'll pull the velocity out for you, and what this does is we like to see the green and the red, and where they meet up, that shows our rotation. You can see a pretty strong signature just to the east of Arma, and then just due west of Liberal. But it does not look like anything is on the ground. This is radar indicated, and of course we're going to keep our eyes on this as we work through the evening hours. I'm going to throw it over to Leonard now for a little bit of sports.
I appreciate it, Doug. Former Pittsburgh
State hero. We're going to check back now with Doug for a look at the weather.
Well, of course, the severe weather is continuing. We still have a tornado threat, but it's switching more to a hail and a wind threat. But with these lines of storms, we get a lot of spin-up little tornadoes, kind of like what we had about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now. So we do have a tornado warning now in eastern Crawford, western parts of Barton County. Let me skip ahead here and I'll zoom in for you. And it's right along these leading edges. We get these little notches and we get these small little spin-up tornadoes. But sometimes, as we saw just north of Oronogo near Next City about a week and a half ago, they can do some damage. So you definitely want to take shelter in eastern parts of Crawford. It's just to the northeast of Pittsburgh, and then really from Liberal and the western half of Barton County. And I think we're going to see a lot of this throughout the evening hours, so it's going to stay fairly active. Make sure you keep it here. Make sure you stay tuned to our website, Facebook page as well, and we'll keep you updated as these lines of showers and thunderstorms roll out. I do think our severe threat will start to drop, thankfully, after about 8 o'clock, so that is the good news. Dow?
All right, we have time for a final sports now.
We're going to hear more from Alex Barnes tonight. We talked to him about a bunch of things, playing for Bill Snyder. We're going to put the complete interview with him on our website later this evening.
All right, looking forward to that. Again, you can keep it here. Doug will bring us updates as necessary throughout the evening. Also check with us on Facebook, KOAMnewsnow.com, and our weather app. We'll see you at 10. Be careful out there. Let's make it a great evening.
Regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
Hey, meteorologist Doug Heddy. I want to quickly let you know what's going on with our severe weather. We briefly had a tornado warning eastern Crawford, western parts of Barton County. These are usually the small little spin-up ones along the leading edge of a big line of thunderstorms. That has been able to drop. So we're now to severe thunderstorm warnings. Crawford, Cherokee, also Bourbon County, and then still Nowata, Craig, Ottawa, Newton, Berry County, and now we have a new tornado warning in northeastern parts of Newton, which stretches into Lawrence County as we continue to get these showers and thunderstorms working through. What I do want to show you, though, is see how everything's solidified into a big line? So along these lines, sometimes we get those small little spin-up tornadoes. But this is the best news because that means our supercell threat is pretty much over. So we're going to go to heavy rain, wind, and also hail. But we could pick up just from this line upwards 2 to 3 inches. But at least the one tornado warning in western parts of Barton County has been able to expire. We do have the tornado warning in northeastern parts of Newton County, extreme southeastern parts of Jasper County. And you can see this little rotation notch here. It's been decent mid to low level rotation, but we haven't had any reports of a funnel cloud or a wall cloud or anything on the ground. But you still want to take shelter, as we have seen through the afternoon, especially right here in southwestern Missouri. Wheaton had quite a bit of damage just a few hours ago. So take shelter, northeastern part of Newton County, extreme southeastern parts of Jasper, near Sarcoxy, and then as you work into western parts of Lawrence County. We're going to keep you updated as needed throughout the evening hours, but for now we're going to throw it back to programming.
Our huge selection of comfortable...
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
Good Tuesday evening, meteorologist Doug Heddy. I want to continue to update you on severe weather rolling through. We still have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, a few new tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. We're looking at Vernon, Barton, Jasper, and then also St. Clair, Cedar, Dade, and Lawrence, also Berry County. And then we have still a few tornado warnings, one across western parts of Lawrence County, Ottawa County, and then also Berry County in southwestern parts of Missouri. But look at the huge line now, very heavy amounts of rain, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. And with this line, we're getting these small little spin-up tornadoes now, which is a lot better than the supercellular tornadoes, which can be a lot bigger, but still these can do some damage. But we have a little bit of rotation on the leading edge of this little complex, which is near Miami. So we're looking southern parts of Ottawa County. So if you live in southern Ottawa County, go ahead and take shelter, as we do know that these little spin-up tornadoes, that can do damage. And we'll see how it works into western parts of Newton County and see if it's warranted that it continues. Let's go east. We are looking Berry County. This is where the air mass is a little bit more unstable, but we have some rotation right on the southwestern side of this storm. So this is lifting toward the north and to the east, just north of Table Rock, and then heading toward Cassville. And then we've had a little bit of a tornado warning with this guy, but it looks like he's going to expire here soon. But still a little bit of rotation east of Sarcoxy and then just to the west of Mount Vernon. So a lot of showers, a lot of thunderstorms, and again, some severe thunderstorms. I do think in general our tornado threat is going to start to drop, especially as we work through the next couple hours, but we still need to watch these little spin-ups on the leading edge. So again, southern parts of Ottawa County, go ahead and take shelter, and we'll see how it works into western parts of Newton County if it's warranting that continued warning. And then just east of Sarcoxy, right along I-44, just to the west of Mount Vernon. Everything's really booking now, moving at 40 to 45 miles per hour. And even without the tornado warnings, we're still getting hail and winds that are clocking 60 to 70. Make sure you keep it here. I'll keep you updated. For now, back to programming.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
All right, we're going to continue with your severe weather coverage. The good news here is our tornado threat is dropping. It's not non-existent, but it's lower, much lower than what it was earlier. We're mainly very strong winds and hail at this time. And you can see the line of severe thunderstorm warnings from Cedar, St. Clair, Dade, Lawrence, McDonald, Newton, Jasper counties, all getting a very intense line of showers and thunderstorms, but we aren't seeing the individual supercells like we had earlier today. So these are now a nice solidified line, very heavy amounts of rain. We're getting a lot of ponding on the roads. We've had 2, 3, 4, 5 inches just today, so we're getting massive flash flooding. And every now and then on the leading edge of some of these storms, we'll get little spin-up tornadoes, and that's why we've had some tornado warnings over the past hour or so. But most of these are just severe thunderstorm warnings. We're looking through Ottawa County, and this line extends down on the east side of Joplin. So really from Joplin down toward Neosho over toward Sarcoxie, but very heavy amounts of rain and about quarter-size hail within most of these storms that continue northeast all the way up towards Stockton. However, on the Kansas side and the Oklahoma side, your severe threat is dropping. Once we get rid of this main last line, we're still going to have showers and thunderstorms, but our severe threat will really drop over the next couple hours. So that's good news. I'll keep you updated. Now back to programming.
Four-state zone Fox.
Hi, everyone. Here's some of what's heading your way tonight. Your news at 9.
The creators of a citizens petition in Fort Scott are speaking out after the city says they are not going to address the petition. I'm Zach Dodge with the story.
A Joplin man left disabled by a crash gets dialysis at home. I'm Lisa Oligas. Coming up, the benefits for the family.
Recognition for a group of students who are making the promise to continue their educations. And when experts say the number of dead Facebook users are going to surpass the living users. Doug Heddy has weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Starts right now. This is video of a tornado near Wheaton, Missouri in Berry County today. We've received reports that this tornado caused damage to at least some barns in the area. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. Active day for severe weather.
Crazy. We had so many tornado touchdowns, tornado warnings, and that Wheaton tornado was one of the bigger ones. In fact, I talked to Tad Schnockenberg, who is a Kansas City storm chaser, very talented one. He was on that Wheaton tornado. I asked him what he saw.
Lots of outbuildings, lots of barns. There was only a couple houses that sustained minimal damage. Lots of power lines and trees covering the road. There was one farm that had 4 barns, and they were completely destroyed, debris scattered for a good quarter of a mile.
Thankfully, Tad and his team made it out of there safely. They're traveling back to Kansas City now. But let's go back to the radar. I'll show you what is going on after we saw rounds of severe weather, and it just didn't stop. It started at about 11 o'clock this morning, and finally, just now, we are starting to get the most intense storms out of the viewing area. But the problem now is we have the flooding. So many roads are flooded. We've had such heavy amounts of rain. Look at all the tornado reports I can count. And these are actual touchdowns, not just funnel clouds. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the viewing area, but we had over 20 tornado warnings. Look at the rainfall. This is insane. 5, 6, upwards of 7 inches through the Joplin Metro, and just about everybody picked up anywhere from 2 to 5 on average. Severe weather threat returns tomorrow. We'll talk about that here in a bit.
All right, Doug, thanks so much. This is video out of Sulphur, Oklahoma, of a tornado there that touched. It was a rural area near Hill Creek. The National Weather Service says it was on the ground for 8 minutes. The National Weather Service says a tornado near Paola, Kansas was a small one, but still enough to cause damage, as you can see. Twister with winds estimated at 80 to 85 miles an hour was reported early this morning just south of Paola. Jason Layton of the National Weather Service says it was an EF0 tornado, 15 yards wide, lasted 3 minutes. As Doug Heddy was talking about earlier, this is Highway 171 near Carl Junction, okay? Number of police departments in our area, including the Joplin Police Department, are warning people. This is in Joplin now. Many roads have now flooded. Joplin Police Department and Joplin Fire Department were responding to vehicles becoming disabled by flooding. Now, danger of not seeing these flooded roads, of course, while driving increases at night. So be extra careful if you have to be out there driving. Go slowly. Don't chance it. Trying to drive on a flooded road. Several areas of the 4 states were hit by hail, some of it heavy. Look at that. These photos were taken in the Anderson, Missouri area today. In some places, the hailstones were reported as large as golf balls. Residents of an Arma, Kansas apartment building were underwater. They tell us it's due to an ongoing drainage issue that has been made worse by, of course, today's heavy rain. Now, there are a number of power outages in our area. You can visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, and click on the news links for information on where those power outages are. We're going to check back in with Doug Heddy here in a bit. First, some of the day's other news.
What an insane, crazy day that we've had today. We had scattered thunderstorms during the morning hours. We started to go severe right around the noon hour, and we've had severe weather from the noon hour somewhere in the four-state area all the way until now. In fact, we went 6 hours, a 6-hour stretch that somewhere in our about 28 counties had a tornado warning, which is just literally insane. Indigo Sky Casino Resort, of course, clouds, the random thunderstorms that just continue to roll through during the daytime hours for us today. Now, when these started out, our atmosphere was extremely unstable, and we were dealing with the supercells. Watch them pop up, these just random cells, and that's why we had so many tornado warnings. Tornado warnings love supercells. And then eventually, as the afternoon into the evening wore on, we went into a line of storms, and then it turned more into a hail and a wind threat, and of course a flash flooding threat, as we've had just tremendous amounts of rain. So over the past 6 hours or so, you can see this line is dropping south and east. So we don't really have much in the way of severe weather threat from this point on, except extreme southeastern parts of Berry County that stretches back into Benton County. But this still heavy, intense line of rain really extends from Pineville, Anderson, over toward Purdy, Wheaton, and then up just south of Springfield. Everybody else, we're still getting showers and thunderstorms where you see the yellow, and this is moderate to heavy rain. It's just not the intense rain that we had a little bit earlier for us today. Look at all the tornado reports. These are just the ones that actually touched down. We got this one. We had one in Lebec County. We had a couple in Ottawa County. We had several, Newton, McDonald, and then also into Berry County, and then one just north of Mount Vernon. We had almost 10 confirmed touchdowns, but we had over 20 actual tornado warnings. So just a huge day. The other big factor, the rain. Look at this intense rain right along I-44. Look at the code. We're talking 4, 5, 6 inches in spots, so extremely heavy amounts of rain. But the average was 2 to 5 inches. So that's why we're having the flash flooding. With the rain still coming down, we're going to have the flash flooding through the overnight hours, and then it will subside by morning. But we actually have more rain in the forecast. So this wave pulls east. Here comes our next wave. It's going to rotate in for us by the really tomorrow afternoon. So still showers, thunderstorms. Here's midnight. Just no severe threat, but the flash flooding threat continues for the next few hours. Then the rest of the night, mainly after midnight, looks pretty good, which is good news. We need a little bit of a chance to dry out. Winds kind of all over the place. The actual front is still right back through here, and it's actually going to lift back toward the north, and that's going to give us more thunderstorms by the time we head into tomorrow. Very wet out there, 60 in Joplin, northerly winds 10 to 15. Of course, humidity is at 93%. Let's go into Wednesday. Most of the day is going to be okay, except late in the afternoon, we'll start to get scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up. Some of these could be strong, possibly severe, nothing like what we saw today. Could get some severe thunderstorms, but it's not going to have the coverage and the rain that we saw throughout the daytime hours. These will continue into tomorrow evening. There we go, come on. Our machines worked way too hard today. 74 by noon, high temp right around 78 degrees. Now, this batch will roll through tomorrow night. We'll most likely get a batch that's going to roll in late tomorrow night and into Thursday morning, giving us some more scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. But I do see a severe threat tomorrow. I do see a severe threat, at least a low one, on Friday. Threat for tomorrow, we're going to go low threat, low tornado threat. We're going to elevate hail and wind. Plus, on top of that, still over the next 36 hours, I think a lot of us are going to pick up 1 upwards to 2 inches of rain. 77 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday. Thunderstorms late Friday, Saturday a break. More storms, severe weather Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week.
Time to give that voice a little bit of a break real quickly.
We have the latest on a strong round of severe weather that moved through the 4 states. And we'll hear from a storm chaser who saw it all unfold firsthand.
Closer to Stella, it started ripping up some barns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Strong storms in the 4 states bring damaging tornadoes like this one in Wheaton and ongoing flooding issues after torrential rain like this in Joplin. This is KOAM News at 10. We're going to go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy. It's been a wild night, Doug.
Yeah, just an insane day. The duration of our severe weather as it rolled through from about the noon hour and then all the way up until about 30 minutes ago until it was completely out of the entire 4-state area. But we had so many supercells and they produced so many tornadoes. You can't see the most intense line now really from northwestern Arkansas over toward Branson, but still we're getting moderate to heavy amounts of rain behind it. And what that is doing is causing massive flash flooding issues across the region. A lot of areas have picked up 5, 6, even 7 inches of rain, which is just crazy. We had numerous tornado reports, almost 10 confirmed touchdowns across the region as we worked through the afternoon and into the evening hours. I did talk to Tad Schnockenberg, who is a storm chaser he's a Kansas City storm chaser, and he was down here. I know him very well. He's very talented, and he gives us an idea of what he saw when he was coming up on the Wheaton tornado.
Started chasing it in Stella as it was moving northeast towards Wheaton, and closer to Stella, it started ripping up some barns. It was mainly in a rural area. About 10 minutes downstream, it hit a few houses and a couple more barns near Wheaton, and that's where the power lines came down on top of our car and ripped off all of our weather equipment. Lots of power lines and trees covering the road. There was one farm that had 4 barns, and they were completely destroyed, debris scattered for a good quarter of a mile.
This is video out of Sulphur, Oklahoma now of a tornado that touched down there. It was in a rural area near Hill Creek. The National Weather Service says it was on the ground for 8 minutes. An immediate threat for a lot of the area is flooding. This is a photo of 171 near Carl Junction covered with water. The Joplin Police Department says due to severe flash flooding, many areas have become impassable in Joplin. This is video from Rangeline in Joplin where roads were flooded earlier. They are clear now. JPD says the water has been a couple of feet above some roads. The police and fire departments are responding to vehicles becoming disabled in flooded areas. The scenes are similar in a lot of communities. Police ask that you avoid getting out in this weather if at all possible. For information on highway closings, go to KOAMnewsnow.com and click on news links. Some impassable roads won't be listed. As always, the advice is turn around, don't drown. Several areas of the 4 states were hit by hail, some of it heavy. These photos were taken in the Anderson, Missouri area. In some places, the hailstones were reported as large as golf balls. Again, you can find more and updated information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. That includes power outages. There have been a number of those. Also road closures and links to area emergency management offices. Just click on news links. We're going to check back in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy in a bit, but first some of the day's other news. A little later on KOAM News at 10, Pitt State football star Alex Barnes is heading to the NFL. Former Pittsburgh High School NFL football star. We're going to hear from him coming up in sports.
Showers and thunderstorms continue for the next few hours and still a threat over the next few days. We'll look at that coming up next. Well, it definitely turned out to be a wild, crazy Tuesday for us today. We started to get scattered showers and thunderstorms during the morning hours, and then once we hit the noon hour, it just took off, and we had just extreme severe weather as we worked through the afternoon and then into the evening hours, and still we're getting moderate to heavy rain with the showers and thunderstorms that are rolling through the area. Great time lapse Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, even though it shows the clouds, even though it shows the showers and thunderstorms throughout the daytime hours for us today. Plus, we've had just a tremendous amount of flash flooding over the past 3 or 4 hours just due to round after round after round of thunderstorms. We started the day, look at these individual supercells, and that's why we had so many tornado warnings. Supercells, they love tornadoes. All the energy is in that one storm. And they can, especially when the atmospheric conditions are right, they can really produce tornadoes. And that's why we had so many tornado warnings throughout the afternoon. Finally, it kind of went into a line late this afternoon into the evening, and then we saw mainly wind and hail and very heavy amounts of rain as we worked into the evening hours, and we're still seeing that now. Even where you see the orange and the yellow back across Kansas and then all the way down through the Joplin Metro, this is still moderate to heavy rain. It's not at the severe limit, but is still producing very heavy amounts of rain and flooding conditions. The most intense storms are still really from Bentonville back through Berry County and then kind of draped over near Branson. But all of the severe weather is at least out of the region. But look at the very heavy amounts of rain from Nevada, Lamar, Pittsburgh, back through Columbus, Joplin, and then it lets up by the time you get to Independence, Parsons, and Chanute. But all this has still got to work through, so we have 2, 3, 4 hours of moderate to heavy amounts of rain, and we could even see amounts of maybe another inch 1.25 in a lot of spots on top of already the very saturated ground. Storm reports, I mainly put on the tornado storm reports, but we had a very intense tornado that tracked up through Nowata County. It had a very defined signature on it, and it had a debris ball, so it was on the ground, and went up into southern Labette and then kind of died. Had another storm. We had a couple touchdowns in parts of Ottawa County, and we had another storm that produced several touchdowns southeastern Newton, northeastern parts of McDonald, and then into Berry County. Of course, this is one of them was the Wheaton tornado. It also had a very strong signature on it. This guy was on the ground near Miller, Missouri, just north of Mount Vernon. So just of the ones that touched down, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in our viewing area, and that was just during the afternoon. So just a crazy intense day, plus the rain. Look at this stripe right along I-44. A lot of areas 4, 5, 6 inches of rain. Next wave is going to pull out. It's nothing like this one, but still it's going to give us some scattered showers and thunderstorms over the next couple days. Heaviest rain, here's 1 a.m. really passing through southwestern Missouri, and thankfully by 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, it's pretty much gone. Roads are wet, a lot of roads are underwater, so be careful if you're going to be out tonight. In Joplin, sitting at 59, humidity, of course, is high at 93%. For us tomorrow, I think most of the day is going to be dry, but we are going to get some scattered thunderstorms in here late in the day. Some of these could be strong, maybe severe, but I think they're really going to be scattered. I'm not concerned about this. The latest data that I've looked at, of course, something we'll keep our eyes on. We're under a low severe threat, but again, I just don't think tomorrow's really going to be a big deal, but I'll evaluate it and look at all the new data that's coming in. I really haven't had a chance to do a lot of forecasting today because it's been more of nowcasting with the severe weather. 77 tomorrow, a few scattered storms late into Thursday morning, a few more Friday. Our next best severe threat I see is next Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
And obviously, when we get a lot of rainfall like this very suddenly, you have to be aware of it.
Yep.
You can stay up to date on the forecast from your phone. Just download the KOAM Skywatch weather app. It's available free of charge. You can find it in the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store. Again, it's free. You should download it right away. Obviously, the weather cooperated long enough for that, but it's kind of soggy there and everywhere right now.
Oh, we had so much rain today. Very intense, severe thunderstorms. We actually went 8.5 hours where we had some kind of warning, either tornado or severe thunderstorm, straight. In my 16.5 years here, I can't ever remember that happening. So just a crazy day with storms. The heaviest now is pushing through northwestern Arkansas, then over toward Branson and southeastern parts of Missouri. But you can see on the radar, most of us still under the yellow and the orange, which is moderate to heavy rain, even though it's not quite as intense as what we had earlier this evening. It's still causing flash flooding issues. A lot of areas have picked up 4 to 7 inches. So if you are going to be out tonight into tomorrow morning, be very careful on the roadways. A lot of areas that never have water is going to have standing water, and you never want to drive through it. We do have some more thunderstorms trying to pop up tomorrow afternoon. I'm not concerned about this into Thursday morning, but still we stay pretty active.
And even after the rain stops, that water can keep rising for a time. You have to be careful out there. Final sports notes.
Our full interview with Alex Barnes is now on the website. Great kid. Go check that out. I know he's going to make SEK proud in Nashville, and he's going to make it in the NFL, whether it's with the Titans or not.
He has a lot of fans, as he should. Be careful out there. Let's make it a great tomorrow.